the XRP army, that's great and everything, but their conversation never got bigger than saying XRP is for cross-border payments and derivatives. Like, okay, like I want to hear more in-depth conversations and not just these like I don't know what words and phrases that people just adopt and just re-say when they're talking about their conviction for XRP. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be talking about, oh, did you see this opportunity that we could, use our XRP as liquidity and lend it out and borrow against it? Or did you see these liquidity pools over here on this chain? Or, hey, did you see this protocol that's about to pop up looking like we're about to get double-digit yields with our XRP?
Because we are.
Yeah, and I'm not hearing those conversations on TikTok Live. Like, I'm hearing again.
It's because TikTok is one of those dopamine-driven platforms, bro, that stimulates people and gives them a distraction from their, I hate to say this, but shitty existence, right? That's why these social media, not necessarily why these social media platforms were created, but a big part of what they're used for predominantly today is distractions, right? To manipulate the masses, and that's exactly what's happening, bro. And people don't see it. You and I are having these conversations, and guess what? Everybody that's following us and everybody that's tapped into our community is freaking 10,000 steps out of the curve winning, bro. So it's sad. It sucks to hear it, but all we can do is just be a voice in the dark space and continue to try to wake people up one by one. And it sucks because we're not selling our soul to do it. We're actually trying to wake people up with good documentation and information and research and institutional insights. And people don't want to hear that shit, bro. People are so prone into believing that they're going to become overnight millionaires in crypto because of people's past experiences in the space that they gravitate towards that positive momentum and energy and think it's going to happen to them. And then it never happens. They end up getting wrecked and they don't become long-term participants. They see the vision, bro. They see that you say it all the time. Crypto is for life. This is not some, oh, I'm going to get rich quick, retire, and go back into fiat scheme. Nah, the transformation is fucking happening. You understand? Like, we're not going back into fiat after this. This is the transformation. Once you're into crypto, if you go back to fiat, you're doing yourself an injustice because they're devaluating the shit out of the fiat currencies every single year. Every single year. And that's the problem, bro. If you go up to the people in the streets, the people that are on the TikToks, they don't have financial literacy, bro. They lack the understanding of how the financial system works because they're freaking manipulated zombies. And it's shit to say that out loud. Like, I hate to say that and put that energy onto the universe, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll start waking up. I think, what Flare Network and what Hugo Philion's got cooking over there. I think Flare Network is, once people really wake up to what Flare Network is going to do as well, that's another thing too. And, in the XRP community, when they talk about Flare, a lot of them hold Flare and they always just talk about, oh, it's Web3, it's Web3, it's Web3. And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean? Like, okay, did you not understand that, like, these guys and they're going to be able to give us yield with our Flare digital asset and with our XRP now? And as a matter of fact, it's most likely going to be double-digit yields. Like, I feel like Flare Network is hopefully going to really wake up the XRP community fully to what their XRP can really do for them. I can't wait because I feel like it's probably by the summertime, or at least by the end of this year, we could probably safely say we'll see something from Flare Networks and what we can do with our XRP, the wrap version, that is. So.
You're speaking absolute truth, my brother. Already, what is going on? Oh, Jude, I almost thought I was muted. Boy, whoa, I had to dial it back for a second. So chuck the mute button. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX Wealth 28 Club podcast. I am your host, CYPRX, joined by my co-host, Mr. Aqua. Man, today has been a really outstanding day. Today, we're going to really try to continue to show you all that we are undergoing a massive transformation by showing you guys documented proof, panel discussions, research articles, just no hopium, no hype here, really trying to get you all to understand that we are transitioning into an era where we're not going to have to sell a portion of our digital assets. And instead, we could be turning them into yield generating assets that are consistently paying us out passive income. I'm going to physically show you guys in my portion of today's breakdown that institutions are doing this currently right now in the moment. They're also talking about this and setting the stage for this really to be integrated into the core banking infrastructure. And yeah, we're going to continue down that rabbit hole today, always showing you guys juice, gems. We're going to try to refrain from bringing our opinions to the market, albeit, yes, we will deliver some opinions, but this is no bullish moonboy hopium hype or anything like that. We're just giving you guys straight deliverable facts that you all can go check on it yourself. So Aquaman, it's always a blessing to have you. What's up, brother?
Man, it's a sunny day over here in LA. I'll tell you that. So I'm super happy for that because, you know, the last, I want to say 10 days in a row has been overcast all day where the sun just never comes out. And it's just that, you know, super depressing, no sunlight type of vibe. And now that the sun is out, I'm feeling good. So
I sleep the best on days like that. You're right, dude. It does change the energy. The sun holds power that a lot of people don't really understand or even tap into. They just think it's a clock for them, right? The sun comes up, they go to their 9 to 5 job, the sun goes down, they turn on Netflix, they go to sleep, they do it all over again. They don't understand when you wake up in the morning, you should embrace the sun and allow the energy from the sun to flow into your veins and your body and then transmute that energy into positive action. Bro, sun is powerful. That's why the ancient Egyptians used to worship it back in the day, or I should say Sumerians and even older civilizations, way older than the Egyptians, used to worship the sun. So bro, I want to go ahead.
hey, hold on. Let me just say something real
Back it
quick.
up, back it up.
I'm gonna just put a little cherry on top. And just an FYI and a heads up, Holy Bible is Heliobiblios, which means the sun, holy sun, right? So, and amen is the sun god, amen rod, right? So yeah, man, deep rabbit hole type of stuff, but we ain't doing that today, right?
I mean, one day we could, bro. You guys gotta really, I don't like telling people what they gotta do, but people gotta start reading books. They gotta start doing research. There's so much information out there to be had. And information is wealth, real information, because there's false information and misinformation out there. You got to be careful. But when you tap into good resources and you just really unlock who we are as individuals, and what we're really capable of as human beings, as entities on this earth, wow, you unlock something else. So I want to kind of pick up where we left off, not to get down that spiritual deep rabbit hole that we could definitely dive down, but you were talking about DeFi when we started this, and we were just kind of shooting the shit. And one thing you said before you started the call, bro, is if you don't understand DeFi, you're missing a piece of the transformative puzzle that's taking place right now with the shift in the financial system. Um, I just want to say that I completely agree with you on that note. I have some things that I wanted to discuss and talk about with AI agents. So maybe I'll put that on the back burner for now and we'll pick up on DeFi. But remember, I was telling you about that fault that I had today, working with what we're working with behind the scenes and just seeing the DeFi money hit the account or hit the wallet, so that way you can then go and send it off the protocol and go and deploy it in the ecosystem however you feel necessary, or pay yourself or go out if you have a crypto debit card and spend it. Bro, that hit different today. And I've experienced that a couple times in my investing career over the years. First, when I became profitable in trading, right? And then obviously, of course, participating in previous bull cycles and seeing minuscule investments in Bitcoin and XRP at 11 cents in the early days go from, you know, massive parabolic prices, and seeing that money. It's like there's a different feeling and a different mindset you really have to house to really achieve internet money, and like understanding that money is not real. Like shifting the mindset from thinking that you have to go in and sacrifice your time, your energy at a job or at a 9 to 5 to make money, right? Money is a form of energy. And so really all you have to commit yourself to is an equal amount of an exchange of energy. And you can do that directly from your home now with an internet connection and a mobile device. And people are not tapping into that, bro. Like,
yeah, bro. There's
not to
so
laugh
much.
at anybody. Not to laugh at anybody, by the way.
Yeah. No, there's so much that can be, you know, done on the internet. I mean, we're both, you know, walking proof of that. And there's many more too, you know what I mean? That have caught on and tapping in. But yeah, definitely, this is the time to tap in now. You know what I mean? And what's so amazing though too is that like everybody that's here that's listening to us right now, you have to understand that like your crypto that sits in your cold storage wallet is basically a business sitting in your cold storage, waiting for it to wake up and get deployed onto some protocol to start printing you money, earning you yield around the horn while you sleep. Once you guys understand that and you understand what your digital asset was meant to do, that's when the bigger picture of and that piece of the puzzle gets completed of really understanding crypto and what this is all about. Like when we talk about institutional money, like, okay, institutional money, where is that going to go? Like, how is that going to come to the XRPL? What is that going to do? Well, yeah, there's going to be money going cross borders for sure. Absolutely. But these institutions also want to earn yield with these digital assets, AKA XRP, XLM, whatever these institutions hold, right? These guys are like, we've shown you guys documents that these guys have said out of their own mouth they are not going to leave any money on the table. You know what I'm saying? So like if these institutions are also going to tap into this yield that you guys can be earning with your digital assets, why would you not be tapping in to understand this information so you can put your pennies, or maybe if you're a multimillionaire listening to us, you could put your millions next to their billions and trillions, because it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And these institutions are not coming to crypto to cold storage these assets, guys.
Bro, well, so people have to understand that there's different types of institutions, right? And so not all institutions are trading institutions or buy side and sell side institutions or arbitrage institutions, like, right? Some institutions just want to invest in hodl. And so in order for them to do that in these volatile assets, they have to de-risk from the volatility of the asset itself, right? And so people don't understand that giving an asset the ability to generate yield limits that risk, right? If you're constantly earning all the time on a volatile asset, then the asset might be down in terms of percentages, but because you're still generating yield daily in maybe compounding or participating in other yield generation strategies with the digital asset yield that you're earning, then the risk in terms of capital loss is minimized because you're always increasing your balance, you're always increasing your revenue, you're always increasing your stream of income or whatever. And so it's actually a liability for a financial institution to hold an asset on their balance sheet that is extremely volatile like crypto without generating yield on it. And people don't understand that, right? In order for a financial institution to participate in this space, it's actually more mature of them to be a staker of, a proof of stake network on said digital asset. But a lot of people don't understand that because it's all new and it's fresh. Another thing that a lot of people don't get, and because you were talking specifically about the XRP army, a lot of the people in the XRP army think that XRP's use case only comes in the form of like remittances or cross-border payments or settlement, right? And that is the farthest thing from the truth. There's so much more, not only on the XRPL, but what the XRP digital asset can do and is going to be able to do in the future moving forward. And yield generation is one of that. The reason why Ethereum's market cap, one of the reasons, I can't say the only, but one of the reasons why Ethereum's market cap is so massive and Ethereum's price is the way that it is because of the TVL locked in the DeFi ecosystem, right? That creates the supplemental demand for Ethereum 24/7, 365 all the time, right? Ethereum whales, what are they doing with their Ethereum? They're generating yield with it. So their Ethereum is not dormant, sitting in cold storage wallets like XRP whales. XRP is, right? XRP whales right now have millions of XRP just sitting in cold storage doing absolutely nothing, and it's creating no constant demand for XRP. Well, when that transition shifts, why do you think Ripple has been so focused on institutional DeFi and partnering with institutions? They're smart. They know that in order for these institutions, like I said, to adopt these digital assets in some way, shape, or form, they have to be put to work. They have to be able to do something for them. They can't just be idle, right? And this is beyond us as the retail investor. This is a shift in momentum. In order for these institutions to come in, it has to be something that they can profit from, not just by trading and arbitrage, right? And participating in trading and buying and selling. Because again, back to my original point, all institutions aren't buy and sell side institutions or trading institutions, right? So like a lot of the uneducated people in the XRP community in general that only think that XRP has specific use cases like remittances, cross-border settlement, so on and so forth. It's just because they lack understanding of the core financial infrastructure in itself, and that the old system is not being replaced. It is being enhanced. That whole ideology that we're going to replace the financial system is make believe bullshit. People wake up. Okay. It's not happening. It is going to be different and it is changing, but it is simply just being enhanced on a granular scale. Right. And so all the old things, right, earning 2% yield, 3%, 5% yield are about to be bumped up faster every single second, every single day, yield generation, T+0 settlement times, where institutions are still going to be able to earn yield on T-bills, on treasuries, on bonds, on tokenized assets, right? Or rights, real estate, gold, like all this shit, it's just going to be enhanced. We're going to see double-digit yields. We're going to be able to do it from a mobile phone on our right internet connection and God knows where, no, anywhere in the world. That is happening for the first time ever. This is so massive. So, bro, I agree. This gets me pumped up and excited because it's all information that people are like starting to wake up towards, but still are in the process of thinking that it's a scam. And so, what we're going to do today, at least I have a whole bunch of proof, is to show you all that this is happening for a fact, 110%. It cannot be denied.
Yeah, nah, 100%. It is definitely coming. You know, and the one thing that I would say too, to just, you know, piggyback what you just said is we forget, you know, I mean, we don't forget, but like, you know, right now we're the hands-on doing these DeFi moves and moving stuff from wallet to wallet. But like, let's face it, the next 12 months, 36 months, AI agents are going to be doing all this stuff for us. And they've already shown us that they have institutional grade AI agents. So these institutions are also too going to take advantage of AI agents. So yeah, it's I can't wait. I can't wait for the future.
Have you heard this gentleman yet? I believe he's the CMO of the Algorand Foundation. His name escapes my mind right now. We could go in here and look real quick if we wanted to in this video, but I want to play this since you mentioned AI agents. We might as well get this out of the way right now because you guys and gals, again, not to be the one to tell people what to do, but just do yourself a service and just go start to do research in the crypto space with what some of the really good AI agents in this space have been doing and are accomplishing. You know, like I'm seeing articles that are coming out just to talk about what you're mentioning about how AI agents are going to be like managing portfolios for us and stuff. It's so crazy that we're kind of in an era or in an environment where even some heavy hitters in this space don't know that this stuff exists. And it's kind of crazy seeing it from the back end. Like people don't think that AI agents can profitably trade for you or invest for you right now. That's the farthest thing from the truth. There's projects out there right now that are running AI agent launch platforms and have active AI agents trading and investing for people in this space right now and have been profitable since launch. And they launched last year at the end of 2024. The crazy part is since then, they've been able to manage, meaning that they're battle tested now. One of the largest liquidation events in crypto survived it and remained profitable. And one of the largest hacks in crypto history survived it and remained profitable. That is huge. These are tests, and that's what people don't understand. These are tests to prove that the infrastructure is ready to handle larger amounts of volume. Okay. And you got to tap in. So check this out, just to cap while we're on AI agents. This is the CMO of Algorand, and just listen to what he says about AI agents.
So from our perspective, like one of the core use cases for Algorand is as a payment system, because transactions are incredibly cheap, incredibly low cost. We have extremely high throughput, and we have something called instant finality. So you don't have to wait for a transaction to be finalized. Everything is instantly final the moment it gets recorded in a block. And so therefore it's very good as a payment network. And so where we see huge opportunities around the proliferation of AI agents and the ability for agents to pay each other. Like everybody knows and everybody believes that the world will evolve to the point where there's going to be more agents than humans. And so you're going to have all kinds of specialized agents that do this or that. And so there's not going to be a single kind of God agent that is able to do everything for you. So there's going to be multiple agents, and people and agents will have to communicate with each other and exchange value with each other. And I cannot imagine that agents will exchange value over traditional bank rails. That's just not going to happen. It's like sending an email through a post office, right? Like it's not going to happen. It requires instant settlement at high speed, high velocity. And so that's where we see the big opportunity, is really enabling a payment infrastructure for agents to exchange value. And that's I think where we're focused on.
Bro, there's so much to unpack there. I mean, he just dropped the mic. And the crazy thing is you will really have these people on the internet, on Twitter, with no followers, no profile picture, no credentials whatsoever, probably couldn't even go get a job at the Algorand Foundation because they don't meet the requirements in terms of their educational threshold to even work there, talking shit about the future of crypto and AI agents, right? Then you got a gentleman like this who's sophisticated, probably has years of college experience, background degrees in history and blockchain and whatever the heck, and maybe even has some financial experience working for institutions. Who knows? Telling you all that, you know, it's happening. It would be ignorant to believe truly that AI agents are going to transact with each other in the future with fiat currency, right? Like that literally doesn't even make sense. So if you don't believe that the transformation is happening, just look under the hood. It doesn't, like, you think robots are going to be walking around handing cash to each other? Heck no. What the heck?
Yeah, no, that's real, dude. That's super real.
Ruby,
Hey,
what's up, Ruby?
as a matter of fact, though, too, what he just said, I swear we both called it too. Just like when we came across AI agents and we were talking about this back in December last year, coming into this year, January. You know, I remember us just like thinking about like how it's going to work and how they're going to, communicate to one another. And literally the CMO of Algorand has the same exact thoughts said the same exact thoughts that we said back in December.
Mind you, this video was posted 2025 May 2nd, and it was from the digital staking summit that took place in Dubai just a couple of days ago. Back to DeFi though, because I don't want to switch up the topic. The masses are going to slowly, people also have to understand that the markets move in cycles. And so everything that we've been saying over the past year about DeFi, it's been a little bit dormant because protocols have been being built out. Developments have been happening on the XRPL left and right. And we're going to continue to see that progress. I'm going to start to show you guys some of this documented proof now that we have more people on the call. But it's just at the point where it's been slow. It's been a steady pace, but once institutions really start to pick up speed, it's going to be a flood. And looking back in 2 to 3 to 5 years out, it might have felt like a long time during those 2 to 5 years, but looking back, it's going to feel so fast because of how fast and exponential this space is about to grow by now between 2030, right? And if you're not here in this space right now, to last until beyond 2030, get out of crypto right now. There's no point for you here because there's going to be gains met in between now and then, but the real winners are going to come after 2030 and later on down the road when we see clear regulations, we see real true institutional adoption. They get out of this test case proof of concept phase, which is starting to happen, but it's still going to take time. And when you think about this logically and you understand, like we mentioned, that crypto is for life, DeFi is for life, the transformation is undergoing, screw the old system, everybody's coming over to the new one. It's so weird that people instead are still thinking crypto, oh, bullish, oh my gosh, XRP to $10,000, I'm going to sell it for US dollars. I'm going to sell it for US dollars that they're literally killing over the years, every single year after year, and think that you're going to survive. It makes no logical sense. So it's a mindset shift that you have to make. You have to commit yourself to by doing research, doing due diligence, practicing security measures, making sure that you manage your risk properly, tapping into a like-minded community with other individuals that are tapped the F in so you can survive, and really participate. Check this out. I said here, and I want you to cap on this, Aqua, so I'm not taking over the call. I said, seeing prices pump in crypto is exciting, no doubt, but watching those same assets surge while you're also stacking passive yield on them, that is when you realize you're no longer just an investor. You've become your own bank. There's an entire other side of the game where price action meets smart positioning combined with daily yield generation.
Yeah, man, that's a money post, bro. And there's just so much in there. I mean, and those that get it, man, like you're in the correct frequency because, you know, again, a lot of the XRP community that's like on TikTok and like maybe Instagram, you know, you know, no, this is really, you know, no disrespect to anybody. I'm just basically stating like, you know, where the minds are at, you know, we really have to understand that like these assets, our XRP, can really go to work for you and earn you passive income, whether you provide it as liquidity in a liquidity pool, you lend it out on a borrowing and lending protocol. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so much that you could do with your XRP than just, you know, leaving it in your cold storage. You know, I hear a lot of people say, you know, be your own bank, be your own bank. And what does that necessarily mean? Because you guys are not talking about how you guys can pull your own loan out against your XRP. You know, as a matter of fact, let me just share this with you guys real quick. If I could share my screen, and this will, you know, make even more sense. But like, check this out. The reason why a lot of people in the XRP community don't understand this as well is because we've talked about this. The ecosystem in DeFi on the XRPL is basically getting built out right now. There's really not much. There's not too many options. There's maybe 5 different, you know, worthy protocols of checking out. But you got stuff like this right here, XP Finance, which is a borrowing and lending protocol that's going to be on the XRPL that hasn't even launched yet, right? They just had their pre-sale of XPF token yesterday. Now, I'm not sharing this with you guys so you guys can go and buy this, you know, this token or whatever. And who knows if this is going to be an it factor protocol on the XRPL. We don't know. It could be an it factor, or it can just totally, you know, dwindle away and, you know, not amount to anything. But this is what's coming to the XRPL opportunity like this. And it's going to be up to us as a community to dissect these protocols, dive into their audits, dive into their team, see if this is real, testing it out, sharing with one another. Hey, I had this experience. Oh, okay. Well, you had this experience. They had this experience. You know what? This is all sounding very similar. And these are the types of conversations that we should be having because, you know, when this bad boy launches, which is going to be
if you don't know how to use it, you're screwed. You're like, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. But people that man, just dude, so much to unpack in what you just said. So much to unpack. I want to
and check this out though too, real quick. So like, you know, the Q4 this year, you'll literally, this is going to go live. You'll literally be able to, if you become a multi-millionaire.
Can you zoom in a bit? Can you zoom in a bit on the print?
Yeah. Hold on. Right here.
Yeah, just like because the print's small for everybody to see. Kind of like pinch your screen a little bit, zoom in on the print. You know how to do that?
You know what? I don't think I could do that, bro. My bad.
It's all good. Okay.
Well, yeah, my bad. Anyways, so yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is this borrowing and lending protocol could potentially, you could potentially pull a home loan out for a brand new house instead of going to the bank against your XRP. You can go and pull an auto loan out against your XRP on a protocol like this, right? That's basically what I'm trying to say. So that's what being your own bank is all about. You should be able to borrow against your asset. The asset should be able to be provided as liquidity. You know what I mean? That's what being your own bank is all about, because these banks have been using our money for years as liquidity in these private liquidity pools that we had no access to. Only the institutions did. But now, because it's a decentralized environment, this is why we have access to this stuff. So yeah, the mic is yours, brother.
I'm going to write that note down. Institutions and retail. Hold on. Institutions and retail. Because I have a document here that physically shows from an institution that, you know, institutions are going to be able to participate alongside retail investors in the same exact investment package in order to generate yield on digital assets like Bitcoin. So I just want to show you guys that these are not, even though they might sound like our opinions, if you don't know what we're talking about, like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, everything that we're saying right now, you can go and physically check yourself that it is happening for a fact, 110%. Another thing that you talked about that I really liked is about joining community and having discussions about these things, not just on Twitter, not just on YouTube or with whatever public community that you're involved with, but actually going into a private community that has investors in this space with 7-figure portfolios, that are active day traders with multi-millions of dollars and have over 13 years of institutional experience in this space. That hits different. Like yesterday on our Zoom call, bro, the fact that we had 56 people on our private call, and at the end of the call, once we delivered all the information, we were just literally sitting there. I think the call lasted for 2 hours yesterday, one of our private DeFi Zooms, and everybody was asking questions. We were laughing, having a good time, trying to figure out this new protocol that we found out about. And we're just all like, what's the security risks? What's the strategy? Like, what is the freaking route? Like, how do you get onto the platform? What assets does it accept? What are the best wallets to connect? Like, if I could not imagine being in the DeFi ecosystem without the mentors in CYPRX right now, like, bro, like, it's like straight up, like, you're like, I would feel like I'm drowning. And I mean, again, I don't know if any other communities out there are doing the same stuff we're doing. I can almost guarantee you to some degree they're not, because we have some, we have software, we have programs that we run that nobody else on the internet has access to. So I know that for a fact nobody else is doing. But like, in terms of just anytime somebody asks a question, if we don't know the answers as mentors, other people in our community that have years of experience usually do. And it's just like a network effect, bro. Everybody's grinding, everybody's hustling. We're paying attention to the market euphoria, the sentiment. We've been really like insanely killing it over the past, like, I'd say year and a half, in terms of people making freaking massive trades, massive investments, doing what you're doing. The fact that somebody in our community the other day, bro, literally beat us as mentors when they took a loan out against their XRP and invested it in this freaking project that did 900% returns in 1 month and turned whatever amount they turned it into 100K is crazy, bro. Crazy. Like, I still cannot get over that somebody in our community did like hit that W button straight up.
Winning, baby.
The crazy part is they did that in our community in the week that all the turmoil was happening in the market. When the rest of the market was dumping, bro, they figured out how to utilize DeFi to their advantage by watching the Wealth 28 Club, bro. That's so clutch, straight up. So that was the first thing I wanted to unpack about what you were just talking about. Is just community, like-minded individuals, being in a network of people now in this environment where everybody's goal is to last beyond 2030 in CYPRX. And so what we're doing is really committing our effort, our actions in this space, our risk management, everything that we're doing to make sure that we are a community that does not mislead people and will be here continuing to help people beyond 2030. Right. And that's powerful, bro. You don't find that, amongst influencers nowadays, because they're all shit, honestly. Like, they're all just focused on price action and price appreciation and bullshit retail analytics. And that stuff is, eventually we're going to get to a point where people just realize that that's all just bullcrap. And then eventually we'll wake up and you're going to see CYPRX at the very tippy top of the totem pole. And all these other influencers out there that people finally wake up to are just a bunch of shit. They're going to fall off because they're not going to survive. Their pockets are going to dwindle. Their pockets are going to dwindle, y'all. I'm telling you guys, watch. It's going to be crazy. The market's always without the bad players, bro. Naturally, it just takes time.
There's so much bullshit TA on XRP on X that it's like hilarious. There's like, not calling out names or anything, but there's a couple of accounts that have been calling XRP to be $33. They said it's going to happen in February. Oh, it's going to happen in March. And then like, bro, like, when are we going to stop really unfollowing these people and start calling these jokers out? Because like, they really put out these TA videos like this is going to happen. My accuracy is on, but like, their accuracy is shit, bro. Like, we are the only accurate community, and I'm not even capping. I'm not even trying to say that like in a, I'm trying to be humble when I say that, I guess. Yeah.
I'll take it even more on an even more humble level. There are some accurate retail analysts out there, but the thing of the matter is they're still using retail analytics to deliver price action analysis on an institutional based market, right? So like, if you're trying to do technical analysis on nothing but TradingView in your mobile device and a computer without any institutional grade software or programs, like real institutional grade software programs, not indicators on TradingView, then you know, you're not getting the real juicy information, the real stuff. You're still just getting a lagging perspective of the markets because every indicator that retail traders have access to is lagging. The difference between anybody that does like moon cycle analytics, there's traders out there, there's investors with large YouTube followings that track the moon cycles, that do like gematria, that do technical analysis, and they're relatively decent. And I'd say their win rates in terms of where they give price projections to intraday are maybe like 70%, 80% accurate. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I'll take it to a more humble level. But how are you really, you have to ask yourself this, going to tap into the 90% accuracy range, the 95% accuracy the range, the percentage range where you don't lose for an entire year, right? Because of how accurate in terms of information and education you getting access to. That's what CYPRX has access to. And there's nobody that can come into our community and disprove that. I 110% stamp by that. Why? Because we have institutional algorithms that we pay thousands of dollars a month for to get access to information just as fast as the institutions get access to. So that means we beat all the retail investors, bro. And I've been telling people this. People are sleeping on what we have access to with institutional scalper, bro. Like it's so mind-blowing. I try not to talk about it because, you know, people just, they don't even think that or know that that information exists. So when you hear dark pools, when you hear liquidity pockets, and you hear institutional delta zones, it's like, huh? And then you go and you do research on the internet, and the crazy part is Google don't even have the information, bro. You know?
Damn, that says a lot right there too. That says a lot. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's really crazy.